are winning this ball. Now plays it out front. The deflection Danger will get the dunk at the buzzer for the 8th time in school history. A Maple Grove softball team is going to state.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam for the week of December 2nd. I'm John Jacobson.
I'm Jay Wilcox. This week on the show, highlights from early season girls basketball and hockey matchups. Plus, we look back at some of our favorite Sports Jam spotlight stories from the fall season.
But first, the Prep Bowl. For the first time ever, two local teams met in the Class 6A championship. Champlin Park came into the Prep Bowl with a 10-1 record and their first time in the title game in 17 years. Wayzata boasted an unbeaten record this fall and their first Prep Bowl appearance since 2011. Rebels and the Trojans meeting in the final game Friday on day one of the Prep Bowl. First quarter, the Rebels score first. Noah Vogelpohl with a 40-yard field goal, and Champlin Park leads 3-0 after one. Early second quarter, and Wayzata running back Christian Vasser continues his big postseason with a 5-yard touchdown run, and it's 7-3 Trojans. But the Rebels counter with a scoring drive of their own. Sean Shipman is in for a 3-yard TD to make it 10-7 Champlin Park. The Trojans get a big play on the ensuing kickoff. Sam Robertson fields it near his 5-yard line. He finds a running lane on the right, and down the field he goes. Robertson goes 81 yards to the Champlin Park 14-yard line, setting up another Vasser touchdown and putting Wayzata back in front. The Rebels, though, are able to drive the ball down the field before halftime, and Shipman is in for his second touchdown of the game, putting Champlin Park ahead 17-14 at halftime. But Vasser really gets rolling in the second half. He powers in for this 4-yard touchdown in the third quarter, putting the Trojans ahead for good at 21-20. After a defensive stop for Wayzata, it's Vasser with a big hole on the right side of the line to run through for his 4th touchdown of the game. And the Trojans kept feeding him the ball. Wayzata's big and talented offensive line allows him to run for 16 yards here in the fourth quarter on his way to a 285-yard rushing night. Leading 28-20 with under 3 minutes to go, Vasser ties a Prep Bowl record with his 5th rushing touchdown of the game. Put this one out of reach. Wayzata wins the school's 4th football championship with a 35-20 win on an emotional night for at least one senior.
This was a team win, and it just kind of got to me, you know. I love these guys with my heart. And to win it and do what we preached and what we practice, there's not a better feeling than it. And I'm just so happy to do it with these guys that I love. You know, I love you, Christian. I love you, Grandma.
Love you too,
and
Tom.
to do it with the best coach in Minnesota, who's taught me so much as a man and a player. It's special. There's not words for it.
It's just another chance to take another step forward to get the program back to where we all believe it should be, and we're just really happy that we're 1-0 tonight, which means we're state champions. So.
Congratulations to the Trojans. Really great seasons for both of those teams. Wayzata, really a solid team in the postseason as they rolled through some really good football teams.
And they were very consistent. Throughout the season, they played a lot of good opponents, and all of them found trouble stopping the running game and that offensive line, but their defense played very well, especially in the second half. Champlin Park threw a few wrinkles at them that got them the lead for a little time there, but a great season again, as you said, John, for both those clubs.
Yeah, I think it was a Rebels team that they didn't know coming into the season what they had, and to get all the way to the Prep Bowl, even though it was certainly a disappointing second half and ending, is a great credit to that program. Time for our first break here on Sports Jam.
When we come back, highlights from girls basketball and hockey as the winter sports season gets underway. Welcome back to Sports Jam.
The season is underway in girls basketball, and a couple of local teams earned their first wins of the season. Maple Grove was at home to face Minnetonka in one of those games. Early first half, Tonka's Desiree Ware drives and scores 2 of her game-high 21 points. Then Ellen Durkee zips the pass to Piper Terry. She nails a 3. Skippers in control, leading 33-20 at the break. Feature Crimson players put out a halftime show, and it's a prelude to a big second half for Maple Grove. Izzy Brandt, nice drive and basket for 2. Then Brandt threads the pass to Abby Schulte. She scores on the break, cutting the Tonka lead to 33-32. Schulte runs the break and kicks it to Jordan Lampker. She nails a 3. Maple Grove opens the second half on a 22-0 run and takes control of the game. Lampker with 19 in the game. Kylie Baronic beats her defender and scores on the reverse layup for a 44-36 Crimson lead. The Skippers chip away. Durkee left open, hits a 3, and Maple Grove's lead is cut to 5. But the Crimson hang on. Schulte drives for 2 more. She nets 14 points, and Maple Grove wins 59-55. Also in girls basketball, Osseo hosted Buffalo in a non-conference game. First half off a missed Osseo 3. Mia Brack gets the offensive rebound, kicks it back out, and Lyric Walters hits a 3, and it's a 12-6 Osseo lead. Another good offensive board here for the Orioles. Isabel Cronin with a rebound off the miss, puts it back in for 2, and the Orioles lead grows to 10 points. Early in the second half, Osseo's Jasmine Choi gets a steal off a Bison inbounds play. Nice spin move by the senior to lose a defender. She scores. It's 49-34 Orioles. But Buffalo mounts a comeback. Sydney Husfeld drives to the basket and scores, tying the game at 57. And with 3:20 to play in the game, Lindsey Hartman pops in a three-pointer. The Bison have the lead at 69-67. But the Orioles come back to tie, and 8th grader Ava Holman hits some clutch free throws late to help the Orioles close out the game. They win their season opener 76-73.
In girls hockey, Champlin Park Coon Rapids faced off with Northwest Suburban Conference newcomer Rogers. This game at the Ice Forum in Champlin. It's scoreless into the second period when Rogers strikes on a power play. Sarah Parent sneaks the shot through from the circle, and it's 1-0. 6 minutes later, a nice play to keep the puck in at the blue line leads to a goal. Quick passing, and Emma Rooks unleashes a wicked wrist shot. The Royals take a 2-0 lead on the Bluebirds. Later in the second, Allison Hatcher's centering pass gets loose in front. The Bluebirds can't clear it, and Abby Johnson's shot through traffic is in. All of the scoring comes in the second period as Rogers wins 3-0. Champlin Park Coon Rapids did bounce back with an overtime win over Buffalo on Saturday. And John, girls hockey teams have already played quite a few of their games as we're into December now.
And we have some pretty solid teams in this area as well this winter. Also a wrestling note, Wayzata won the Ken Drogemuller tournament at Osseo over the weekend. The host Orioles were 6th. When we come back, we'll take a look back at some of our favorite Sports Jam spotlight stories from a great fall season.
Now a look back at some of our favorite Sports Jam Spotlight feature stories from the fall season. Armstrong Girls Swimming has seen several good athletes come through their program. The Falcons' best this season was Sierra Smith. Jason Melillo profiled Smith early in the season.
Sierra Smith's brother Connor can take some of the credit for getting his little sister involved in competitive swimming.
When I was young, it was mostly just following my brother, actually, because I had to go to all of his practices anyway, since I was too young to stay home. So around age 5, I started swimming on the same team as him, so that was a competitive swim team. So that's where I got my start at the New Hope YMCA.
Connor Smith helped set an Armstrong record in the 400 freestyle relay, and Sierra now holds 3 school records. Sierra is a freestyle sprinter now, but as a young swimmer, she tried every event.
I went from being a breaststroker to an IMer to a flyer, and they would all laugh at me for this now because they know that I'm far from that, but it was just kind of trying everything out and kind of ended up being a sprinter now.
Outside the high school season, Sierra swims club, and she's in the pool pretty much year-round. Sierra's long arms and legs give her a physical advantage, but she's also a very hard worker and very coachable.
Probably the best thing about it is that it's a back and forth. It's a collaboration between coach and athlete. She likes to question things, and then I like to fill around on why I'm doing things.
She definitely helps a lot of the younger girls on the team, know when they need to go up and how to help swim the race and make it so it's a little less stressful for them at the meets and even in practice too.
Sierra credits former Armstrong swimmer Courtney Evanson with being a mentor. Evanson set several Falcon records and went on to swim 4 years at the University of Missouri. Next year, Sierra will also swim for the Tigers.
She was always swimming fast in practice, of course. And then another big thing was that she really helped me choose Missouri as my college. So just swimming for her, or with her for a couple years, she reached out and helped me get in contact with the coaches there, and even mentored me like now, saying how great Missouri is and helping me discover that that's the school for me.
Sierra says her runner-up finish in the 100 and 200 freestyle at last year's state meet wasn't too disappointing. If she makes it back to state this fall, the senior is simply aiming to swim her best.
It's so hard to control what other people are doing that I'm just setting goals for myself, like time goals to reach for, and that's all I can control. So I'm going to train my hardest to go the times that I want, and if that happens to be first, that would be awesome.
And Smith did cap her prep career in style, winning the state class AA title in both the 100 and 200-yard freestyle events. She also signed her national letter of intent in November to swim for Missouri.
As you saw earlier in the show, the Champlin Park football team lost in the Prep Bowl, but still posted one of the best seasons in the program's history. Back in early October, we met two of the team's big defensive leaders.
Their head coach describes them as quiet leaders. Kruder under pressure, and down he goes. Ovalecha. But the play of Champlin Park linebackers Obi Ovalecha and Noah Link sounds out loud and clear. Noah Link with the sack. The team's top two tacklers have helped lead the Rebels to a 4-1 start. Two senior leaders know their roles.
We got to be communicative to our group, let everybody know what they're supposed to do. We got to be there to make plays. We also got to be able to, set up plays for other people as well.
Obi does a great job of being a leader, and I just try to follow up with him. The D-line does, to be honest, most of the work for us. They clear out all the O-linemen. We're clean most of the time. So it's just so much thanks to them for that.
Noah's a great guy. He's smart. He takes good read steps. He does everything well. He's athletic, tall. He can do everything.
The big guys up front kind of keep everybody off him, but they flow to the ball. They work very hard. I don't think either of them have missed a snap, you know what I mean? And that's tough at linebacker because they're probably averaging close to, 10+ tackles a game.
Obi and Noah are two of the Rebels captains from a strong senior class. It's an important role with the team.
I take it serious, being a leader is important on the team, and it's vital in leading a team to success and victory. And I think we have some good captains and leaders that are able to do that role.
Obi is getting looks from schools to play college football, but has not made any decisions on next year yet. Noah has been accepted at North Dakota State and Iowa State. The 34 ACT student and future engineer says this fall might be the end of the line for him playing football, which brings with it some sadness.
I'm kind of torn, but I know that I just got to keep moving forward and not look back on it. But I'm for sure going to miss football. It's just been a huge aspect of my life ever since I started playing like second grade. So it's a big decision, but I just got to keep growing up.
There is still a lot of football to be played this fall, and these two Rebel seniors want to see it out to the end.
We can be as good as we set out to be. I think we have all the guys at all the places, but it's about our mindset and where we want to go.
This team can be great. There's so much hard work and talent on it that we could, if we just continue to execute, we could be a great team.
And a great season for those guys. Both were named to our Sports Jam All-Defense team last week. We're back with more on the show after this.
Though they fell short of their goal of reaching the state tournament, it was a strong season for the Park Center boys soccer team. In early October, we met a 4-year varsity regular for the Pirates who was a tough player for opposing teams to stop. Senior Chief Williams is pretty noticeable on the field for Park Center for his speed and skill, and for his name. Chief is indeed his given name.
My dad, he gave me that name. Reason is to make me want to work hard to live up to that name, Chief. So every day, if it's in school or on the field, I just try to be the best I can be. And whenever I step on the field, I try to be the best player on the field and try my best in the classroom. If it's by getting A's or B's and just try to be up there and work hard,
Williams was a second-team All-State pick last season, scoring 13 goals. He certainly left his mark in 4 varsity seasons in the Pirates program.
Chief is a big personality and a great kid. I'll never forget as a 7th grader, we were doing summer trainings, and I was running those, and we typically have the older kids, go in one area, and younger kids go in a different area, and he's like, Jason, let me come play with the older kids. Let me play with the older kids. Let me play with the varsity, and just from 7th grade, and then we took him as a 9th grader in varsity, and he's been awesome to watch his development.
He's big for us. He's a leader on this team. He's been around for the longest, for 4 years now, and I met him here too. He's just been growing, been getting better. From a couple years ago, he wasn't up there, and then he grinds hard, he works hard. He wants to be the best he can be. He got a lot of potential, and he really helped this team.
Man, it's been fun. The school, they gave us a great opportunity. It's just been great. Having everyone here, the great community we have here, and just playing this beautiful game that I love and having a great platform, it just meant a lot to me.
The Pirates have a lot of talented players alongside Chief, and he's learned to move the ball and use his teammates more and more. His assist total has climbed a lot this fall.
I just want to be a great player, want this team to win. If it's passing the ball or scoring, I'm just trying to do my job and go as far as we can.
For Chief and a lot of talented scorers, dealing with being held and roughed up a bit by opposing teams isn't fun, but it's part of the deal.
I have to deal with that every day. We have a game. Before we even played all the teams, they already know my name, and I'd be like, what do you know me from? Yeah, so I have to deal with all that. Guys try to get in my head, but I just played the game. It's what I love to do, and I just played the game. I've been playing soccer since I was a baby. Had a soccer ball, so here now it don't bother me, just having fun, and guys trying to get in my head. I'm used to it, so.
Williams moved to the U.S. from Monrovia, Liberia about 6 years ago, first settling in New Jersey before moving to Minnesota. He was definitely surprised to find so many from his homeland in the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area.
It just makes you feel at home, having the favorite food that you like, and just having all your people and speaking the same language. I speak English, but a certain way we talk and we understand it, so it's fun, and having all the race and all the people, it just shows the beautiful world we live in today. So,
Chief Williams and his teammates very much want to lead Park Center back to the state tournament, a feat the program last achieved in 2015. That's his main focus now, but he does see soccer in his future too.
You want to go to the best school that you possibly can, and for me, continue my soccer career. I want to play at the D1 school, and I feel like I have the talent and ability to, so.
Chief had 12 goals and 15 assists for the Pirates this season, and as he said, he is planning to play college soccer.
Her coaches and teammates called her a natural leader. In our fourth Sports Jam Spotlight story of the season, we met a Hopkins volleyball player who overcame personal loss at a young age to succeed.
Shadir Tutt moved to the Twin Cities from Iowa in 8th grade. Now in her 4th year of varsity volleyball at Hopkins High School, the senior is grateful for the opportunities she received coming to Minnesota.
It's been really just like an honor playing here. I love every second of it, and I'm grateful every day, to be honest.
Club 43, which is where she's kind of grown up playing, has done a great job supporting her on and off the court. And she's worked really hard to get to where she is today.
Her and my club coach, my ex-club coach actually, Annie Glavin, they've made me to where I am today. And they've honestly brought so many opportunities to me. They're the reason that I committed to a D1 school. And I'm so grateful for that. I love them for that.
Shadir is 6'1" and a physically gifted middle blocker. She's one of the leaders for this Hopkins team. And with a smile that can light up a room, a great teammate to be around.
It's so infectious, just her smile and the way she celebrates after every point. You can see how it lights up her whole team.
I don't even know if she fully understands her effect on those around her. Like, she just lights up a room with her smile and her personality, and people are drawn to her.
She was the type of teammate that you want to have on your team. She's an amazing person on and off the court. She's your best friend, honestly. Has the best integrity and just the desire to win and amazing focus that you just don't see every single day. And she's an amazing player to play with.
Outside of her athletic talent, Shadir considers herself mentally tough on the court.
It's one of those things, I see people have head cases all the time. They'll make an error, they get blocked like 3 times in a row, and they're like, wow, I'm in a funk now. It's more of like just the next point. I still think of it as a game. I'm like, oh, I'm still playing a game. So it's whatever, don't want to think about it too much.
Perhaps some of that mental toughness comes from a deep personal loss that Shadir and her 6 older siblings suffered 9 years ago. That's when they lost their mother in a fatal car accident.
I didn't realize it at the time. Being so young, you can't really grasp anything like that. But then as you grow older, you see people like, I don't know, like how they build connections with their family and whatnot, and just how they just lived a normal life and what I consider to be a normal life. And then now that I look back on it, I feel like I missed out on a whole bunch, not having that motherly figure, and then just having a dad to look up to, which is not wrong in any way. I just feel like I missed out on a little bit.
Her older siblings immediately stepped in after the tragedy. While their father was working long days, Shadir always had someone watching over her.
I didn't realize at the time, being the really oblivious child that I was, but now that I think back on it, they gave up so much just to help their family, and I'm so grateful for that. Like, no one asked them to say, you have a chance for a scholarship, you have to throw all that away because your sisters are in need. I was like, wow. Yeah, really thinking back, I'm like, that's a lot to give up, and they really just did it immediately, no hesitation.
Chu's volleyball career won't end this fall. She's accepted a scholarship offer to play collegiately at Coppin State in Baltimore.
I really wanted to major in veterinary medicine, and they have a beautiful program for that. And then when I went there, I always thought I wanted to go to a huge school, but it's super small and intimate. I think you can have such a bigger connection with your professors if you're there. So I immediately fell in love with it. And I saw the science area, and I was like, I'm gonna live here.
There is still a lot of season to go. Shadir's goal is to help bring the Royals to the state tournament after an early playoff loss in 2018.
Last year, we didn't end on the best notes against Armstrong in the semifinals, so that's kind of just been a little sting in our back lately. So we've been really working for that, and if we can get to the same spot and, prove to everyone that we are Hopkins, that's what I'm trying to do.
Shadir was born here, but her parents are from Sudan, and she is hoping to take a trip there with her father to meet her extended family sometime in the near future. As for high school volleyball, the Royals lost in the semifinals of the Section 6-3A tournament. Chu signed her national letter of intent in November to play at Coppin State next season. Our play of the week is back for the winter sports season. Each Monday afternoon, 4 new plays from the previous week go up on our website for you to vote on. Go to ccxmedia.org, click on the Sports tab, and then to the CCX Sports Play of the Week to cast your vote. Play of the Week is brought to you each week by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. We'll be back to wrap up the show after this.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience. And as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Our game of the week is a Northwest Suburban Conference girls basketball game as Park Center, ranked 4th in Class 4A, travels to Rogers. The game is Thursday night at 7. See it live on CCX1 and ccxmedia.org. It also replays Thursday night at 10 and Friday night at 7 o'clock. And that will do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for watching Sports Jam.
Next week, it's our first full show of the winter sports season. See you next time here on Sports Jam.